Our opening words this morning are by Dogen, a Japanese Buddhist priest, writer, poet, philosopher from the 1200s, and founder of the Soto school of Zen in Japan. To study the Buddha way is a way of studying yourself. To study the self is to forget yourself. To forget yourself is to be enlightened by all things in the universe. To be enlightened by all things in the universe is to cast off the body and mind of the self as well as those of others. And Dogen also said, life and death are of supreme importance. Time swiftly passes by and opportunity is lost. Each of us should strive to awaken. Awaken. Take heed, do not squander your life. And now, here's Richard with today's talk.
Good morning. Good morning. Today, I will start with a story of a remarkable woman whose influence shaped my life in profound ways. It unfolds in a different era, an era that challenged conventions and pushed boundaries. It's a story that has led me to deep understanding, which I share with you today. My journey begins in 1943 in a family dynamic unlike most. I was raised mostly by a single mother in a time this was unconventional. I witnessed firsthand the strength and resilience of a woman. My mother, an extraordinary soul, possessed a spirit that defied societal expectations. Her uniqueness was evident as a young girl as she would retreat to the banks of the Red River and engage with conversations with Jesus. While loving Jesus was customary, nobody talked to him, and these kind of conversations were extraordinary. Yet my mother fearlessly embraced her own beliefs and followed her own path. Fueling her insatiable curiosity, she devoured books from the limited selection available at her small-town library, constantly seeking to understand the world and life itself. In her teenage years, she married a man because he promised her the opportunity to attend college. So she became the first college graduate in her family. My mother's influence on my life was immeasurable, as she raised me without much influence from my father, her second husband. Born in 1943, I spent my first 2 years with my father away during World War II. My mother was my sole caregiver during these crucial years, and she nurtured me with a sense of curiosity and an unquenchable thirst for exploration, instilling in me, quote, the grandest answer to those with the grandest questions. When I was 6 years old, my parents divorced. At the tender age of 10, during a bus journey with my brother from Little Rock, Arkansas to San Jose, California, I was asked, "What's your religion?" Without hesitation, I replied, "Rosicrucian," because that's what my mother was studying at the time. I didn't know what it was, but if she was studying it, I must be one. Then later on in high school, she began taking me to the San Jose Unitarian Church, where I discovered a community that embraced the diversity of beliefs, promoting open-mindedness and meaningful conversations over coffee after the service. They said, "Our dogma is no dogma," just what I needed at the time. In my early 20s, an experience with LSD sparked my interest in Eastern spirituality. It was through the pages of Hermann Hesse's masterpiece, Siddhartha, that I embarked on a profound exploration of the human spirit. Hesse's protagonist, Siddhartha, on his spiritual quest, finally found peace just watching the water flow by in a flowing river. Inspired by this tale, I sought to understand the depths of my own being. For the next quarter century, I immersed myself in the teachings of Chinese Chan Buddhism, the predecessor of Zen. A small book, Zen Flesh, Zen Bones, by Paul Reps, became my guiding light. The essence of Chan Buddhism lay in transcending the limitations of the conceptual mind and finding enlightenment beyond its confines. Lacking a formal teacher, I reflected upon these teachings and sought to integrate them into my life, though without a consistent practice. Then I crossed paths with a truly enlightened sage who was called Know Me. Know Me. Get it? Drawing from the wisdom of Ramana Maharshi and his own direct experience, this sage guided me towards a deeper understanding of spirituality. What I have found, what feels like truth to me, is just for me. Others may find other meanings. The big thing, I think, is to look within yourself. We all can know our own truths if we look for them. Believe in yourself and your ability to know what is true for you. Through a practice known as self-inquiry, I investigated the depth of my own being, questioning my beliefs and perceptions about my identity and about reality. It's a profound journey of introspection that challenged me to explore the eternal question, what is reality? In the teachings of Advaita Vedanta of non-duality, I discovered something profound. Advaita says what is real is always present, unchanging amidst the ebb and flow of transient experiences. Advaita also says that what you are and what the universe is are not different things. Inspired by my teacher, Know Me, I embarked on a quest to find that which remains constant within myself. What is always, I wondered, investigating the depths of my consciousness. I realized that the world around me, the fleeting thoughts and emotions, all appear and disappear, leaving no lasting trace. Yet there was something within me that was always there, beyond the realm of thought and the objects of the world. I came to see that this eternal essence was not a thing to be grasped, but a profound realization, It's to be experienced. It transcends the confines of ordinary perception and reveals itself in the stillness of the present moment. After we came here to Mexico, one day I rode my motorbike past Walmart. It was an ordinary day, and then a flash of insight struck me. In that moment, I realized something profound. Our perception of reality is a curious thing. We believe that what we see and what we experience is what is truly real. But what if I told you there is a deeper awareness that we overlook? This awareness, my friends, is consciousness. It is a constant presence, unwavering and unchanging, and yet we mistakenly consider it to be ephemeral, while placing our faith in the ever-shifting world of the senses. But in truth, it is the other way around. Consciousness is always. The things of the world come and go. For years, I've struggled to convey this understanding, this experience of the world, and what truly exists. How does one express something that transcends the confines of the mind? Language, after all, is composed of mere thought objects. How can I use words to capture what is beyond thought? Recently, I had the privilege of listening to a talk by an Indian Swami Sarva Priyananda. He's a renunciant Hindu monk and chief Swami of the Ramakrishna order, founded by Swami Vivekananda in New York in 1894. His discourse on relationship between mind and consciousness, the Swami offered a different perspective that I believe may resonate with some of you, serving as a gateway to the profound ideas that have shaped my life for the past 3 decades. You see, when studying Chan Buddhism, I encountered a perplexing notion. The conceptual mind is the very obstacle we must overcome, and enlightenment is the ultimate solution. But how can you transcend the mind by thinking about it? Through my exploration, inspired by the teachings of Ramana Maharshi, I came to understand that the mind and consciousness are distinct entities. The mind, a repository of thoughts, emotions, memories, and desires, constantly churns within us. On the other hand, consciousness is an impartial observer, untouched by the turbulence of the mind. Contemplating the fundamental question, who am I gradually realized that my identity could not be tied to the transient elements perceived by the mind. It had to be something more constant, something ever-present, which remains steadfast among the ebb and flow of existence. This is consciousness itself, not the transient objects that appear in consciousness. Even in the absence of these, consciousness remains. So from this framework arises the question, what sets mind apart from consciousness? At the heart of my talk lies a profound question, a conundrum that has captivated the minds of philosophers, psychologists, and neuroscientists. It's called the hard problem of consciousness. In 1995, an Australian philosopher, David Chalmers, coined this term, reflecting upon the Western notion that consciousness emerges from the material world. Yet, despite years of exploration, the essence of consciousness remains elusive, like a whisper in the wind that evades our grasp. In our quest to unravel this mystery, some have proposed an intriguing concept known as panpsychism. This age-old idea that consciousness is not a byproduct of matter, but rather an inherent aspect of the universe itself. It changes our current understanding. It suggests that consciousness permeates everything, from the tiniest atom to the vast expanses of the cosmos. To reconcile a non-physical consciousness with our tangible world is no easy task. Critics argue that the hard problem of consciousness may be a mere consequence of our limited comprehension, stemming from a misunderstanding of its true nature. They assert that through scientific inquiry, we may eventually unveil the enigmatic secrets of consciousness. But let's look beyond the confines of consciousness and explore another enigma. What I call it is the hard problem of matter. What is matter? As we delve into its nature, peering through the lens of science and engineering, only to find ourselves adrift in uncertainty. First it was atoms, then particles, then even smaller entities like quarks. Now whispers around vibrating strings of energy. The more we discover, the more we realize how little we truly understand. What then is matter? This task is informed by the wisdom contained in a book by Evan Thompson, a distinguished philosophy professor. In his work, Waking, Dreaming, Being, Consciousness from Modern Neuroscience and Vedantic and Buddhist Perspective, Thompson reveals that consciousness studies are not a recent pursuit. They trace back thousands of years to the Upanishads in ancient India. In the realm of religion in India, faith was the starting point. It brought inner peace and connected individuals to the divine. But faith carried an inherent flaw: doubt, the silent underminer of faith. Many among us here have experienced the fading of childhood faith when doubts began to creep in. So the quest for an antidote to doubt commenced, leading to the path of experience, a path trodden by yogis, meditators, and Buddhists. This path also offers peace, but it often requires years of dedicated practice to attain profound results like samadhi or moksha. And yet, even these experiences can be questioned and attributed to mere brain phenomena. like observed in certain stroke patients. However, there exists an alternative approach, a path that addresses both of the challenges of faith and the limitation of experiential practice. It is known as Advaita Vedanta, the teaching of non-duality. Advaita harnesses the power of everyday experiences, waking, dreaming, sleep, to guide us towards a profound realization. There is something within us that knows all three states. What is that? Let me illustrate the distinction between mind and consciousness with a simple yet profound insight from the book Upadesha Sastri, attributed to Adi Shankara, written more than 1,500 years ago. Anything we perceive as this is in the realm of the mind. The mind's purpose is to comprehend objects, to know what is before us. However, it is consciousness itself that knows the mind. Consciousness transcends the realm of objects and offers us a glimpse into their true nature. Advaita Vedanta makes two radical, pivotal claims. First, it proclaims the existence of only one consciousness, an indivisible consciousness that unifies all things. This is born out of the direct experiences of sages and seers as the foundation of their profound insights. This ancient wisdom also proclaims something truly radical, that consciousness is non-dual. What does this mean? I can see questions on some of your faces. It implies that all the objects we perceive, the world that appears separate from consciousness, are in truth nothing but manifestations of consciousness itself, appearances in consciousness. Every form, every phenomena is an expression of this. Just as waves arise from the ocean, seemingly separate, yet intrinsically connected, so too is the nature of reality. Remove the oceans and the waves cease to exist. Are waves any different than the ocean? In the same vein, without consciousness, there is no world. People struggle with that one. Such profound insights are not limited to a single tradition or a particular culture. Spiritual and philosophical arguments supporting consciousness as the underlying reality of the universe have emerged across time and space. Hinduism, Buddhism, Jain philosophy, Taoist beliefs, Sufi practices, Tibetan Buddhist teachings, tribal wisdom, and even the mystical teachings of Christianity all converge on this common understanding. They echo the timeless wisdom encapsulated in Jesus' words, "The kingdom of heaven is within." It is the symphony of convergent spiritual teachings. To discover this truth within yourself, you don't need to search far and wide. Simply observe your own daily experiences, moments of awakening, the realm of dreams, and the sanctuary of sleep. What do they share in common? Amidst the ebb and flow of your thoughts and emotions, there exists an unwavering presence, consciousness that remains untouched by the ever-changing scenery of the mind. It is within you. It is always present, closer than your next breath or the flicker of your thoughts. Now, take a moment to pause and reflect. Do you exist? You exist, and you know that you exist. How do you know that you exist? Not by thinking about it or sensing it. You exist even when you are not sensing or thinking. So it's not those. What is it that remains ever present within you, regardless of the transient dance of life? It is there right now, awaiting your recognition. This is the essence to which all the teachers, mystics, and gurus have pointed throughout the ages. It is the truth that resonates in the depths of your own being, so profound and yet so accessible. As I conclude this talk, remember that you are not alone in this search for truth. Throughout history, sensitive, intelligent, and aware individuals like yourselves have asked the grandest questions about the purpose of life, our origins, our destinations, and the means to unlock life. And it is so close, closer even than your next breath or your next thought. What is it that is always there? It's there now. Just look and notice.
Our closing words are from the Tao Te Ching, the way and its power. The way that can be walked is not the way. A name that can be named is not the name. Tao is both named and nameless. As nameless, it is the origin of all things. As name, it is the mother of all things. A mind free of thought, merged within itself, beholds the essence of Tao. A mind filled with thought, identified with its own perceptions, beholds the mere forms of the world. Tao and this world would seem different, but in truth, they are one and the same. The only difference is in what we call them. How deep and mysterious is this unity? How profound, how great. It is the truth beyond the truth, the hidden within the hidden. It is the path to all wonder, the gate to the essence of everything.